flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Ronald Tops.
Here.
I should say Roland, excuse me, I have trouble with that, Roland. Next. Marie Brilliant. Here. Ann Callahan. Here. Ryan Holmes. Here. All present, town manager, Mark Walsh, starts at the table.
Thank you. Town manager.
Good evening, everyone. Last week, the Tedford Housing had a meeting over in Brunswick with area towns, ranging from as far as Savannah and Pittsburgh, including Bath, Brunswick, Topsham. There was a warming shelter last winter on Union Street, and that group that held the shelter doesn't think they can do it anymore. It was grant funded. The grant applications are due in mid-July. They're looking for a location to have another warming shelter. We have a follow-up meeting this Monday that'll be here. There was someone there from the Interfaith Council that's reaching out to churches. We reached out to TDI to see if they knew of any buildings. There needs to be an owner that can complete the application. The state money last year funded for people like visiting nurses, or that wasn't visiting nurses, but it was a home health care agency that supplied basically the supervision at the shelter. So we're looking around to see if anyone might have property willing to host this shelter. Last winter it was 24 hours a day, or it's more overnight, but it was just warming. There's no beds. You're not supposed to sleep there. If you fall asleep in a chair, they didn't care, but you can't lay down because it didn't meet code regulations. So if anyone knows of a property or is willing to work on that, please reach out to us and we'll bring it back to the committee. They're also asking around Brunswick, Bath, Pittsburgh, all the other towns to see if anyone's interested. And then the other announcement for tonight is that you may have noticed coming in the hallway that CPIC has some posters out to raise information, raise awareness in the recode. They had a public session for committee members on Tuesday night, which brought a lot of good questions and comments. They're going to follow up on, they're going to do coffee with CPIC about 10 times this summer, when they'll have a CPIC member or members here for a couple hours at a time. We'll fire up Pam's coffee pot. And people can come in and talk about the code, ask questions, give information. And that's some of the outreach that's been going on. And Josh Franklin, our new planner, has done a beautiful looking form to take comments that's going to be up on the website tomorrow. That's all I have for tonight.
Thank you. Boards and committee reports and updates. Item 1, update on the traffic calming measures. Jeff Emerson, Assistant Town Manager.
Good evening. As you all are aware, you've received an updated packet, update for your packet regarding the traffic calming issues. The traffic calming issues, as you may have been aware, there have been an increased number of complaints and inquiries surrounding traffic in Topsham over the last couple months. So staff is researching options that would systematically and consistently provide guidance with possible solutions that will align with a comprehensive plan and parallels any state requirement. Since the memo, the only update really is that the meeting with DOT has taken place. We met with DOT on Tuesday morning. And I guess the good news is DOT is updating a lot of their. So DOT will be introducing, they didn't really have a timeline, but within the next, it should be up within the next year to be safe. They'll be introducing new methods to setting speed limits. They'll be releasing a statewide complete streets document. They'll be updating statewide traffic. The guidance document that we can use. So it's an unknown release time, but it should be pretty good timing for us, I think, as we move through this to work. And they said they're willing to work. So in the interim, while they're doing that, it was recommended by the DOT that we take a look at the Town of Topsham as a calming toolbox, it's called. It's on the website. I can send everybody a link if they want. But it's a very through everything. And if I had to guess, it's probably the direction that people will want to head. At this point, unless you have any questions, that's all we have.
I'd like to get a copy of that link, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, you said it.
Yes. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Next update is on the new emergency notification system. Bill Davis, Director of Emergency Management for Saginaw County.
Thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me, guys. So just wanted to make you guys aware, we are switching our mass notification system away from the code red notification system to our Rave platform. With this new notification system, we have a lot of streamlined processes. It allows you to actually send voice calls, text messages, email notifications, plus posting to your Facebook if you so choose, all in one click of a button. We've also allowed the town access to send out these alerting as well. So the town is able to send out some of their own notifications as well. One of the key benefits that we see is a lot on the preparedness side of this. We use this a lot for getting out important safety information. So we just used this last heat wave for an example. If the town had cooling centers that were opened, they would have been able to send out an alert, letting people know where the cooling centers are located. Some of the key benefits of this notification system as well allows the resident to customize which alerts they are getting. So they go in, create their own profiles, and allows them to say exactly what kind of alerts they wish to receive and how they wish to receive them. Where it benefits the town at, especially, we've seen that the town of Topsham actually has 3 residents who don't have AC. So they've shared that information with us. We would be able to actually reach out directly with them and prepare them the information. So starting July 1st, we will be going to the new notification system. I will leave sign-up forms here. We ask that each resident actually signs themselves up if they can. If they have any questions or anything, they can always reach out to our office. We're able to actually walk them through step by step or help them sign up through the process. I will leave frequently asked questions and sign up forms is everything. There's a QR code. That QR code takes them directly to the sign up link. Otherwise, they can also go to our schema Facebook page, or the county website is also got the link on it as well. So barring any other questions from you guys, that is all I have. Just want to make you aware.
I have a comment. I went ahead and transferred over myself personally, and the system in all of your narrative and documents says it's being switched to Rave. But when you go and click in to actually bring it in, it comes up as Smart 911, and that communication would probably be best to be in the document. So when it comes up as Smart 911, you think you're getting the right app.
Yes, and so the Smart 911 is the same company as Rave. It is just the app itself is branded as Smart 911 because there is so much that is into that app itself. We don't recommend that people use the app portion of Smart 911. However, it is the same platform.
Okay, is there a Rave one that was?
No. So Rave is Smart 911. It is just the way that the app is branded is Smart 911. Rave is the owner of Smart 911.
And I'm assuming since I have my personal information in there, they'll be texting me anyway.
Yeah. If you have chosen to receive that message through a text notification, it will go through through that Smart 911.
Okay, thank you.
So it's just one brand based on that. So
Right. Well, what happens is when you push the link and you go to sign up, it pulls up, what did I just say? It was a smart. And I'm thinking, okay, am I signing up for the wrong program because it doesn't say quote unquote Rave?
Yeah.
And that was just something I experienced in processing this. So it would be good if in the emails that you send out, if you say you may see it as E911, that's the same program, and then it's not going to be confusing to our Rave.
yeah, just something like, brought to you by Rave, something like that.
Yeah.
Good point, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
And I do just want to let everybody know that, because we have had the question come up, of, I'm glad you brought up the switching. People ask if we can take the information from Code Red to the new system. Unfortunately, due to privacy issues, we cannot. So they do have to go in and sign up themselves. There will be another reminder message on the old system, so it comes from the Code Red system. Sometime next week, that reminding residents that we are transferring the system. However, you can go in and sign up at any time.
Thank you for the update.
Thanks. Great, next item, public comment. Anyone online? Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Annalise Sardinas from Topsham. I wanted to start off.
I didn't hear her name.
Thank you. Sorry, Annalise. I wanted to start off by just thanking Anne and Ryan for their kind words and support 2 weeks ago, and to let the select board know that I am still interested in filling a school board position. And that's all.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay, next item, correspondence. Anyone receive anything in the last 2 weeks? Okay, thank you. Adjustments to the agenda, we have none. Consent calendar. Approval of the minutes of the regular select board meeting of June 6, 2024. Second. Moving and seconded, all in favor? Thank you. All right, next item is public hearing. 24-45, consideration of any appropriate action on approving a cannabis business license application, cultivation facility tier 2, review for the SBCME LLC tax map R05 lot 89B. So we have in your packet, we have this, excuse me. So you'll have the full application in here. And in our review, in my review, look like all these questions have been answered appropriately fully. Anyone have any questions on this?
I have a comment if I could. Part of this application involves my license as a resident of town. But I don't think that I can be on this part of it. I have to accuse myself. Do want to add that this process is just what we have to do. There was just no licenses available. I'll be relinquishing mine this evening upon approval, but I relinquish at least my vote from this just from a conflict of interest.
Anyone have any other questions? Any questions from the audience on this? Okay. So seeing none, I will make the motion that we approve the cannabis business license cultivation facility tier 2 review for tier 2 for SBCME LLC tax map R5 89B. So second.
Second?
Moved and seconded. Motion carries. Unfinished business, none. Old business, none. Moving on to new business. Item 24-46. Consideration of any appropriate action on a proposal for the establishment of a cannabis ordinance review committee.
Should be Rochelle here, but. there's just-
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I feel fun, so. Because normally I actually am
Excuse
here,
me, what's your name again?
sorry, Rochelle Rossi, and I'm from Highbrow. So I'm here tonight to formally request the formation of a committee tasked with reviewing our town's cannabis ordinance to include provisions for adult use retail establishments. This request comes in light of significant declines in medical cannabis revenues over the past 2 years. Some neighboring towns, including Brunswick, Woolwich, Bath, and Benton, have all approved adult use retail stores. As you may be aware, Highbrow is the pioneer retail store in our and has played a crucial role in attracting customers to the mall area, benefiting local businesses through increased foot traffic, particularly during our busy summer months. We have diligently ensured that all of our cannabis products, whether for medical or adult use, because as I hope most of you know, we do also have a manufacturing license that is a co-located license. So we have medical and adult use with that license in that. That our product undergoes rigorous testing protocols to guarantee safety for our customers. It's worth noting that while medical stores are currently not mandated to conduct testing under state law, Hybrid voluntarily subjects all our products to the same stringent testing standards at a considerable financial cost. So we test our product medically the same that the state requires adult use products to be tested. Town of Topsham has created significant local employment opportunities, currently supporting 20+ full-time positions with comprehensive benefits. Looking ahead, we are eager to expand our workforce as we continue to grow, thereby contributing further to our community's economic vitality. Given these developments, I believe it is imperative for our town to consider updating our ordinances to accommodate adult use retail. This adjustment would not only help level the playing field with neighborhood communities, but also bolster our local economy and provide additional employment opportunities. I kindly request that the select board initiate the formation of a committee dedicated to evaluating and proposing amendments to our current cannabis ordinances. We also would be happy to serve on the committee to provide our expertise on ordinances in other municipalities in order to best serve the interests of the residents and businesses in the town of Topsham. Thank you for considering this important matter. I'm available to discuss this proposal further and provide any additional information or clarification as needed.
Thank you. Any questions? I just have one question. It's just the decline in the business, what's it as far as medical?
Sorry, the
Decline in the medical business, what's really driving?
it's really the adult use. So we also have, not sure how familiar everybody is with us, but we have 6 locations. We have 3 medical and 3 adult use. The medical locations, we're seeing an average 19 to 29% decline, whereas the adult use locations, we're seeing approximately the same, maybe a little bit less uptick. We work very closely with a nurse practitioner, Pam, who does medical cards, and she's also seeing a decline. People are just choosing not to renew their medical cards, and the adult use product is tested a lot. Like, yeah, there's heavy metals, there's contaminants, I mean, I can't even begin to explain the list of things that we have to test an adult use product for. But 90% to 95% of medical locations don't have to test, and they don't. We do, because we've all experienced things. I personally had an experience where I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 2019. Do I want to put a product in my body that I don't know if it's tested and is it safe? We have family members that have experienced the same thing. My dad had pancreatic cancer. We have a cousin that had a very aggressive form of breast cancer. We've all treated with THC and cannabis, and we test because we want other people to know, you know, they're like our family. We don't want somebody to give somebody something that's bad, but the medical market does not require it. We just do it on our own accord because of who we are. But it is definitely impacting us because people are choosing not to renew their medical cards and they're going to the adult institutions.
Why do you think that is?
I think it's a variety of reasons. I mean, I do think some people go for the testing, knowing that it's a good product and it's safe. I think it's easier. You know, they don't have to renew a medical card. They don't have to go through the process of a nurse practitioner or a doctor. So they can just walk in, they're 21 and over, purchase it. And those requirements, I don't know if anybody's familiar with that either, the adult use requirements in a retail store are pretty stringent. I mean, you can't even walk in the door without being shown that you are 21 plus. You can't, so in the medical space, like we could hand somebody a product and they can look at it. In the adult use space, they can't touch the product until they purchase it. So there's a lot of rules surrounding the adult use space. And it is really good protection, honestly, for clientele, for any customer in the community.
It seems a little self-serving to have someone in the cannabis business want to be on the committee to control the rules and regulations, because you definitely would profit from that. With our committees that we have, like the community center committee, no one would be in charge of that community center. They're making decisions for the town at large. I have some concerns that you want to be involved in to start the committee, but you would be the beneficiary of that business.
We don't necessarily need to, but we'd be happy to help and share information, because we have operations in other towns, and that might help in you guys creating the ordinances so that it's not, you're not doing as much like work and, trying to make sure that it serves the town itself. Because we have some examples, like we have an adult use store in Manchester, just to give an example of how that town worked. So Manchester capped their licenses back a while ago. They capped 3, but they had 4 stores already that had come in that were medical. And what they did was they allowed the stores, where one of them, to choose if they were going to stay medical or go to rec. They allowed them to flip back and forth there. If they don't, it doesn't matter, I guess, to the town. But if somebody goes out of business, or say one person goes out of business, then that's it. They won't allow any more licenses in the town. So I think there's just a lot of benefit to hearing from people that are in the business, not just us, but people that are in the business too.
I would concur with that statement in that your employees, your business managers could come to the select board anytime and offer advice. We would definitely, just like you're speaking tonight. I'm not sure, I think I'm leaning against having a committee specifically, but we certainly would be willing to hear whatever you have input, but that's just my opinion.
What are your thoughts?
Are we still in questions or
Yes.
is that?
Stop.
No, okay, so, I have a few thoughts on it. One thing that historically in Topsham, when we first started the ability to sell cannabis, part of it was because Highbrow was already a store and we needed to establish some regulations that came in before we had anything to be set. The town had voted at that time, there was a warrant article. Would you like adult use and would you like medical? And at the time, the town said, no, we don't want adult use, but yes, we want medical. Because they saw a need for medical. And as you expressed, there's certainly a medical need for cannabis, and there's a lot of people being treated by that. And that's where Topsham has stood for a very long time. I think hearing that other towns, every surrounding town has adult use, doesn't mean we have to follow suit by any means. And I think that it's still a very new thing. I also think that there's legislation right now looking at descheduling or scheduling cannabis down from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. That law is on the president's desk. There's a lot of hope for that, but that would also govern what would be federally legal. And I think that it might be a better time for this committee to consider waiting at least until the legality. I know that that has been a topic the past a lot about the federal legality behind it. And I know the state regulates it and that they do a lot of regulation at the adult use side. Less regulation, although a little bit of regulation on the medical side. I'm not for putting adult use stores in Topsham just yet. I think the people in our town have voted on this pretty clearly and pretty consistently. And as someone who is representing our constituents, I don't think that I could get behind that.
Any questions or comments?
Surprised, but it almost seems that if the adult use is tested and more than medical, that we want something safer for citizens.
Well, it doesn't mean that medical isn't safe. Makes it sound unsafe. Certainly has the appeal. One of the stark differences I do think in medical and adult use is the experience you get when you walk into a store. Storefront, they're considering your medical needs. Most of them are more experts in the field and they can understand how to help you a little bit better. I walked into rec stores or adult use stores and it's just like a chain store. What do you want? Get in and get out. And, that serves a whole different type of person. And clearly we have a medical need in the town of Topsham. You guys have been very successful where you're at. I know we're seeing a decline. I know other stores that are thriving right now. I know a lot of stores that are also closing down for the same reasons you're talking about. And I think there are ways to thrive in the medical market still, especially considering the landscape is changing and it's changing consistently and it's changing every day. I would serve more on the medical side still. I know that the one piece that seems to be thrown around is it's tested. But there's still a lot of really good small home grow or not home grow, but small batch growers that grow really great cannabis. And they grow it clean and they grow it organic. And on the adult use side, I know they use a lot of salt-based, grow it as fast as you can. And just because it passed the test doesn't make it the same thing for people that need a medical need per se. And in the new laws, like following suit of places like California, limiting potencies in THC. That might come down the pike on the adult use side where they may limit something that a patient needs a higher dose of. And that wouldn't be fair to that patient, especially since we've been serving them for at least 7 or 8 years now. But I do feel that our town isn't ready.
I personally don't think I have to make a decision. I would like to get more opinion, from the staff as well as trying to get others, in the public before we talk about the struggle. But I will open up and ask for a motion.
No motion from,
Do we need a motion to carry it through or do we just?
no, if there's no motion, it's done.
Yeah.
Can't we, table it?
We could table it. I mean, we could have a workshop or something like that. We just need to make sure we're taking into account, we need to attend and have a real fulsome discussion on this. So what's the best way to do it?
I don't think we need to table it at this time. I think that we can revisit this another time, just through public comments. I think we need to do that.
I guess I'm hearing two different things. I'm hearing maybe have a workshop to get more information, and I'm hearing let it down. So I guess you just have to, someone make a motion one way or the other. I mean, you could not make a motion and it dies, or you could make a motion to have a workshop and instruct us to get people to come provide more information, or you could make a motion to table it, in which case it just sits there until it gets brought up again, so it could be there.
I would make a motion then that we do not form a committee for this particular item and plan to revisit it in 1 year.
I second that motion.
Second, on favor?
So we'll calendar that.
Yes.
And we can establish a workshop session in that time to do that.
Let's see, 24-47, consideration and any appropriate action to award the bid for the purchase of street sweeper approved in the capital equipment replacement.
Good evening, Dennis Cox, Topsham Public Works Director. I'm here this evening asking permission to follow through with the purchase of a new street sweeper for the Public Works Department, replacing our 2013 unit that is becoming very maintenance heavy, costly for the maintenance. The unique part of this purchase, I guess, is that I want to share with you is that instead of myself writing a bid spec for the purchase of this unit, I used a specification written by Sourcewell. It's a government agency that assists municipalities. Other cities, Bangor, Lewiston, Auburn, some of Portland's purchases are through this agency. They're used because of the expertise that they have, that some department heads don't have that knowledge to be able to spec out a unit. Street sweepers are fairly specialized. There's not a lot of units out there, a lot of different manufacturers in that field. So it makes my job easier in this case because they've already put together a generic specification, sent it out to the manufacturers, and their bid result. So I'm asking to follow through with Sourcewell's recommendation of the global M3 sweeper, $284. How much? $284, which includes our trade-in.
This is for a full street unit, not a side unit, is that?
Correct. This would be for sweeping along the curb line in the streets.
Make sure the minutes are correct.
There is 325,000 in the line item.
See that?
It is within the budget.
Thank you. I make a motion. Oh, did you have a question?
Yeah, so we don't know what the other bids came in at.
Higher bids than this. We're going to follow. I'm recommending we follow through with Sourcewell's bid process, which is similar to ours, and they're recommending the low bid that they received with the qualifications and specifications that we would have had on our machine, that we have on our current machine and would like on our new machine. Stainless steel hopper, washout system on it for keeping it clean, things like that. That makes good sense and helps the unit last long.
Any other questions? Motion?
I just want to share, I apologize for the interruption. We did look at an electric unit because we've been asked that in the past, and they're almost $750,000. They're 3 times the cost of this diesel powered unit. And that doesn't include the equipment that we needed at the garage to charge. And I'm not so sure from asking questions if it would last a full 8-hour shift of sweeping. So I just want to share that, we're cognizant still of the Energy Committee, folks asking questions about alternative energies sources for equipment. But again, it doesn't fit our plan.
Thanks for bringing that up.
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase a new street sweeper to replace our 2013 sweeper in the amount of $84,000.
Motion, second. Moving second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 2448, consideration and any appropriate action to award a bid for purchase of new ambulance.
Good evening, Chris McWall, Fire Chief. So we sent out 3 RFPs back in the early spring. We heard back from 2, Road Rescue and PL. So Captain St. Pierre actually wrote the bid specs, and we go down to every nut and bolt, like that cabinet sizes, rims, everything. When we got the bids back, there were a lot of unknowns with the road rescue bid. They didn't have a lot of the stuff that we requested. So we reached out to both. We reached out to them, asked them, hey, you missed all of these things. And they came back to us and said, well, adding those things in is going to be another $7,600, but there were still several items that they did not address after we requested those prices. So I'm not very convinced that their bid of 402 will be the actual price because they're still missing a lot of the stuff. The other thing with the road rescue is poorly put together, a lot of typos, and our salesman no longer works for the company. So all those discussions of, yeah, we'll take care of that. Yeah, we'll take care of that. We don't have those things. So the other thing that PL is going to do when they build their bid prices in, they build in a contingency to forecast price increases because this ambulance is going to be delivered for 2 years, 780-day build time, something like that. So they actually build in their anticipated price increases, which means we may actually pay less than the 428 because those prices may not be as high as they projected. but we're not gonna pay more than $8,000. They're also willing to install, so the stretcher system that goes into these is a power load stretcher. Push a button, it lifts it up and down. And then there's also a system in the truck that loads it into the ambulance. Our two newest ones have them, this one doesn't. They're willing to purchase that now, install it in our old truck for free. And when the new truck comes in, they'll pull that out and put it into the new truck. That whole system's about $64,000. So 10% of that, $6,400, I'm probably gonna save by doing that now. So based on all of that, myself, Captain St. Pierre, the few people that looked at all these bids, are recommending the purchase of the PL Custom for $428,708.
I have a question, yes.
Yeah.
Are the funds for this, already in the budget?
Yeah, 430 is what we budgeted. So we're under what we requested.
And it could potentially be less,
It
this
could
is the
be.
max.
It could be correct.
Any other questions? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the award purchase of a new ambulance to PL Custom Ambulance for an amount not to exceed $428,708. So second, who can second it, all in favor?
Thank you.
Thank you. 2449, consideration and any appropriate action to accept the State of Maine Bureau of Parks and Lands ATV grant on behalf of Topsham Trail. Evening.
Good evening, Pamela Duke, Parks and Recreation Director. Approximately a year ago, July, we came before you and asked you to consider things. I believe probably back in the end of March, you allowed us to apply, and we were fortunate to receive a grant for $33,750. None of this is money that comes from the town. It is all money that comes through the state. We simply act as the vehicle to reimburse the Topsham Trail Riders. I have Jenny Little, the ATV president, here with me tonight. She's actually the person who came before you in March and asked your permission to apply. I can say this. It went smooth as anything last year. Jenny provided me with the documentation. I provided the state with it. Within 3 to 5 days, the state reimbursed us electronically. Our finance department reimbursed them within 2 days. Jenny works for a bank, so she knows how important that part is. So it was very quick and effortless. We're in communication often. The ATV club works with us in the community on projects and different things. So I would recommend that you accept the grant on their behalf and allow me to proceed this year with processing it.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the State of Maine Parks and Lands ATV grant on behalf of the Topsham Trail Riders in the amount of $33,750. Jenny has a comment or a question.
I just want to amend that, it's actually 37,500. And we have to match that. The true approval is 37,500.
I'd like to revise my motion to the amount to be $37,500.
There's a motion, is there a second?
Just to answer, they're required to match in kind. I was only going for the dollars. Okay, thank you.
There's a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor of the motion? Motion carries, thank you. All right, 2450, consideration and any appropriate action to purchase 2 police cruisers. Meeting. Chief?
Good evening, Mark Hagan, Chief of Police. So this year, in the upcoming budget, we had budgeted for 2 new cruisers. While I was talking to one of the car dealers recently, they warned us that in the new upcoming model year, there will be another $1,500 to $2,500 increase for 2025s. So with that being said, we put out bids for 2024 police interceptors that were already on local dealerships property, so that we could try to save some money there. 3 out of the 5 people that I reached out to had vehicles on their lot. I believe you've all seen the estimates that were given or the bids that were given. One company out of Massachusetts Port Auto out of Augusta, and Darlings Ford out of Bangor. Now, when I originally submitted the paperwork, I didn't have a suggestion for accepting a bid due to the fact that Darlings came in $1,786 under the other bids. But Darlings had bids for 2023 Interceptors that are on their lot. When we asked for 2024, they don't have any 24s, but they had two 23s. Also, we had asked that the cruisers be key to light. We've had an issue in the past where if cruisers aren't key to light, when somebody runs out to get in one, the keys don't fit. It's kind of a waste of time. So these cars weren't key to light, so we looked into how much it was gonna cost. Darlings will do it for us for $250 a car, so $500 total. So Darlings is still $1,286 dollars below the next highest bid, which is from Cork. So we are fine, if you folks are, with grabbing the 223s from Darlings for $86,380 versus Cork Augusta has 2024 for $88,160.
So just to be clear, that $86,380 includes cleaning.
No, then it would be another 500. It wasn't in their bid. I was fine. In fact, we know that there's a difference in cost and we'll just put that on that.
So it's 86,880 you're asking for, is that correct?
Yes.
Any other questions? Your motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we purchase Darwin Ford 2023 Interceptor police vehicles in the amount of $86,880.
Motion and a second.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor?
Thank you.
Okay, 2451, consideration and any appropriate action to accept the resignation of River. And instruct the town manager to publicize Topsham's vacant NSAD number 75 director position. Accept applications through Wednesday, July 3rd. And schedule interviews with the applicants with the. Any comments on this?
No, I think it's self-explanatory. We've got another resignation from the board. We just went through the procedure a few weeks ago. And if you allow us to accept applications until July 3rd, we should have plenty of time to get the interview scheduled for your July 11th meeting.
When will this be publicized?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Okay. So that is less than 2 weeks. Okay, with everybody. It's like 8 weeks. I believe that. Works for me too.
Any other questions? Okay, your motion, please.
I'd like to make a motion that we first of all accept River Gloria's resignation. Does that have to be done separately?
No.
Okay, and also that we, that the town manager publicize vacant director position and accept applications through Wednesday, July 3rd, and schedule interviews with applicants with this.
Okay, motion, you have a second? Moving second, all in favor? Motion carries, thank you. And finally, 24-52, consideration and any appropriate action on the reappointment of Artie Arbo to the Conservation Commission and Nancy Randolph to the History Commission.
So these were a couple more people that got back to Rose after the last meeting and said that they'd like to continue service to those two committees. So we're asking that they be reappointed.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we approve the reappointment of Artie Arbo to the Conservation Commission and Nancy Randolph to the History Committee. Is there a second?
Second.
Moving second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you.
Before you move to adjourn, can I ask a visual question?
Yes.
So it sounds like everyone's okay with coming in. We only have one meeting for July, so that'll be at 5:30 on the 11th. And if everyone's okay at coming at 4:30, we'll do the two ads, assuming there's two. There's more, we'll let you know. We also have a person to be interviewed for TDI, Dan Cap. It's 4 too early to, assuming we only have 2 people applying for the school district. It's 4 too early to come, or we have to do that.
Okay, what time again? 5? What time are we actually meeting at?
Meeting at 5:30. Because the planning would be the work.
Okay, and then, what time did you want us to come in for interviews?
If if we have just two applicants, they can afford to be with a lot of coverage.
We need that, yeah.
Then if we have just two,
And
and you
then-
want to come at four, we could get it. Actually, the TDI doesn't need that.
No, that was probably done at 15.
Just as an FYI, I am coming, excuse me, I'm coming back from a fishing trip vacation on that day. I don't know what time. I mean, we're leaving New York probably in the morning, but that's just gonna cut it close. I may or may not make that. Just
Stu won't be here prior to that for us to do interviews anyway, so we're better off saying that day, or you suggested we move the interviews out a week.
we can't do a week because the next meeting would be on the 25th, right? Or the 18th,
It would be, right now, you have no other July.
just the 11th because the 4th was,
Yeah.
got it. So we'd only have one in July. Yeah, I'm just traveling back, that's all. I mean, I'll get here soon. I might be walking in the door as meeting starts.
You might not be able to.
I might
take
not
the
even,
interviews.
I might not be here, but I mean, I think there's still be quorum, but
Yeah,
that's the only conflict I have.
Is, not gonna be available then?
I don't know.
it's okay.
I think he.
He's okay with the 11th meeting, because we all agreed to that. The
Yeah.
question is,
I mean, the other thing we've done in the past, we can set up hybrid if you want, so that if you're not back in time, you could, someone else drive it. You
I could do it for both, yeah, I could do that. That would work.
it's July 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, that would work. That would be easy.
And we could set up the interviews as well as the meeting.
Sure. Yeah, no, we wouldn't.
So would the board be okay if we put the interview at 4:20 and then just jump to school
Yeah.
versus 4:30?
That works.
That would be easy enough, yeah.
Proceed that way.
Okay. So,
Motion to adjourn. Is that right? We're there already? Sure. All right, motion to adjourn.
second,
I'll say.
second.
7:15.
He's like,